Today in Granny's kitchen we're going to make whiskey loaf. Now for this particular recipe you're going to need 13 ounces of sultanas, 40 to 50 ml of whiskey, any whiskey will do, 9 ounces of cold tea, 8 ounces of plain flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 to 3 ounces of soft brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of mixed spice and a beaten egg. Now it does take a couple of days to make, and that's the reason for that is to soak the fruit in the tea and whiskey overnight. So to your baking bowl you add your 13 ounce of sultanas and your cold tea, your whiskey. And as I said, you don't need to put whiskey in it, you just add a little bit more cold tea and it'll just become a tea loaf rather than a whiskey loaf. So basically you're going to stir the mixture like that, and then you're going to cover it with cling film overnight. Now last night I actually made one, so I'm just going to swap those bowls over. So as you can see, this one has soaked a lot of the tea and whiskey into the fruit, and it makes it very, very juicy and succulent. Okay, to that mixture then we're going to sieve 13 ounce of plain flour, and you're going to add in your 2 teaspoons of mixed spice. Now I've got a half teaspoon size here because it fits in the jar, so I'm going to put in 4 of those. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, just mix that in with our sugar. And then finally the beaten egg. Now it's also worth keeping a little bit of cold tea back just in case that mixture is a little bit too dry, because you've got to make sure you mix everything in very well together. And it's as simple as that actually. It's a very good mixture, a very good recipe. But I would ask that you make sure that you mix it very well so that there's no dried pieces of flour at the bottom of your bowl. Make sure all of that's mixed in really well. And it bakes in the oven at 170 degrees for a fan oven, gas mark 3, and it just bakes nicely for an hour. Now I've already lined this loaf tin with one of these liners, which is very handy. You get them in all the supermarkets. So just be careful as you're spooning it in so it doesn't go over the sides. And this loaf will keep quite a long time in a tin. It's best to let it cool, wrap it in tin foil, keep it for at least a day before you slice it. Here we go, just get everything into the tin. And if you wish, you can double the mixture. That just saves a little bit of energy in your oven. And obviously use 2 loaf tins and bake both at once. So that's it ready, goes in the oven for 1 hour.